Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're back for another episode. Mireille, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. This is interesting for me because this was a topic that we actually approached as a coaching session,
hmm
knowing that we wanted to record this episode. So I've been kind of running on that high for the past few for the past few
Mm.
days.
And it's funny. It's funny for you. It's funny for me because it's a subject that I talk about a lot because it has a really big impact.
So, is there a story that you can share? Like what's one of the inspirations behind the joy episode?
I'm going to tell you a story that I tell often. That wasn't the starting point, but it's a story that I find reflects the image when I'm telling people what is joy. When I ask people, what is joy? What brings you joy? Either they don't really know what I'm talking about, or they'll come up with like answers of huge things. Oh, it was so much joy when I went on a trip to I don't know where with my family and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I bring it back to this story to represent, not to represent joy, to represent small joy in the sense that I understand that a big trip is joy. We neither have the money nor the vacation to do that all the time. So, small joy, what is an everyday thing that brings you joy? And just to be clear, we're not making up things. So, the story I tell is the story of putting on pants. So, for everyone who's listened to the first episode, you all know where I was, what I've been through. And at some point, when you have balance problems, you don't start out with small balance problems. You start out with big balance problems. And one of the things that I found out that's the hardest and most complicated is standing on one foot. Okay, that seems logical. Right. I'm not going to stand on one foot. Hold on. You need to stand on one foot to put on your slippers. You need to stand on one foot to put on your pants. And I use this story, this example, because it's something that everyone does every day. At the start, to put on my pants, I had to lie on the bed, not on the floor because I couldn't get up. I had to lie on the bed. So I would lie on the bed, put on my pants. Okay. Then I could do it sitting down on the bed or on a chair. I could put on my pants sitting down. And we never we never thought that there would be something else. We thought I would be putting pants on, sitting down for the rest of my life. And at some point, I tried, I toppled over a few times, but I succeeded in putting on my pants standing up, which regular people do every single day, sometimes many times a day. And anything that looks like pants. So whether it's a skirt, whether it's pants, whether it's anything, imagine. And now I put on my pants every single morning without sitting down, without lying down, without. And sometimes I lose my balance a bit, but I never fall. I'm never in any kind of danger. And even in these last few days, I've noticed it takes me a bit longer. So I have to stay on my leg a few seconds, which before I could not. It's like if it doesn't go in the first try, you need to try, you need to start again. Anyways, all this to say that the pants story, I tell it all the time because it shows people, and I'm not saying you don't need to have joy when you put on your pants. What I'm saying is there are small things in everyday life.
So, what are some of the steps for getting more joy in your daily life?
So the first step is naming joy because in order to have more joy, you have to recognize the joy, right? So, can you name joy? Being able to name joy means you have a certain self awareness. And there are certain questions which I ask because they're general. Everyone has an answer to that. So, what's your favorite food? Do you have a favorite food? Everyone has a favorite food. What's your favorite snack? What's your favorite color? Do you have a song that when it's on, you either dance to it or sing to it? What's your favorite TV show? All these things are examples of joy. we go through this list of questions, but I think once you understand and recognize it, then you recognize it in other things. Because the questions that I ask, they're general. Everyone has a favorite color, a favorite food, a favorite snack, a favorite dessert, whatever. Not everyone is happy when they put on their pants. The second step into getting more into your life, once you recognize it, so how can I bring more into my life? Intellectually, it needs to be repeatable, replicable, accessible, simple, packageable. For example, I now love coffee. I love it. It tastes so good to me with the taste issues that I've had. It tastes so good to me. It tastes really, really good. Well, I can have coffee every single morning. How can you bring joy into your everyday life? I've identified what brings me joy. How can I do that more often? Whatever it is, your favorite snack, your favorite meal, your song, um, things like, oh, how about, you know what? I'm having a hard day. I'm going to start with that song. That's bringing it into everyday life
Just don't use that song as your alarm to wake up because then you will
because you
learn to
won't get up.
hate that song.
True, true. Here's, we're going to call it a disclaimer. I'm saying it because, once again, it's generalized. It's a conversation I've had with many, many people. You don't need to wait for joy in the sense that, I've heard people say, oh, I deserve joy. No, you don't deserve joy. You're a human being because deserve means you did something to get it. You're a human being. You should have joy. It's not a calculation of, oh, today did I deserve joy? No, every day you should have joy. And always ask yourself, how can I have more? I don't know the title, but I saw a show on TV once and he said, we say, thank you, more please. It's the same thing with joy. Thank you, more please. But the more please, it's you who can create it. And what's interesting is when you have control, then you can control the amount of joy that you have versus waiting for other things or other people to bring you joy. So thank you, more please. Plan for joy. Ideally, and this is not going to be the first thing, but eventually you're going to it's going to be a reflex to think, okay, do I have joy in my day today? How can I bring in joy? And Mireille, remember when we're talking about energy management? Well, joy gives you spoons. Joy gives you spoons. So, and whether it's, I mean, there's so many examples, but just think about the song that you like that makes you dance. So if you're dancing or singing your head off for 5 minutes, there's no way you're in a bad mood.
And on the flip side, also when we were working on, after I hit my wall and we were working on my schedule, it was a huge part of it. It was a huge part of the pushback when I was trying to fill my schedule from can to can't. Your question, your challenge was, where's your joy? Where in all of this is your joy? So that's a very obvious way to plan for it.
It is a very obvious way. If you realize all the things connect to each other, all the things we've been talking about connect to each other. Once again, it comes back to intention. So if you're making your schedule, your intention, yes, your intention is to succeed. But in order to succeed, you can't just be at the end of your rope every single day. Say, bon, we're talking about energy management. It all ties in together. And joy, you know what? If you don't plan it, you will not have your minimum. Yes, you will have moments of joy. You will definitely have moments of joy, but they're not guaranteed. And you will not have your minimum daily requirement of joy, quote unquote. And so we're talking about your well-being, your self-awareness. Don't depend on others. If someone, whatever, I get a phone call with someone and we have a great conversation, that it's joy, joy. But I can't plan it. But I can plan coffee. I can plan putting on my pants. I can plan many things during the day.
You can put yourself in a situation where you have people around you also, you know? So you have those, you call them your phone a friend who you can get
Mm-hmm.
in touch with, either to share joy or to get
Big
rid of
time.
some negative emotions. And we'll get back to that later.
Totally, because you've identified it. We're going to talk about that a bit more later, but if I've identified it, I can tell you, and I can tell you, and I can say, and then you have different relationships with different people, but I can say, Mireille, I need a phone call. I need a bit of joy. Then the other person will respond, and then so on and so forth. And what's fun also is that, well, you know what? Maybe my first answer is to call Mireille, but Mireille is not available. Well, I can have a coffee. You can go on and on and on and on until either you find something or you can have so many because there's no limit to joy.
So this is actually a good seg into the next question. What are the tools and strategies that you can use?
Like I said, you have those questions of what's your favorite this, your favorite that. Mireille brought me an idea of a self-care basket. Basically, and it's not a real basket.
It can be a real basket if you're tactile.
It can, but the basket basically is like a toolbox. What brings you joy? So what can you go grab? What can you do? What and all these questions that I ask, what's your favorite color, your favorite meal, your favorite dessert? Well, it's all in your toolbox. And once you've identified all of that, and I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of things that bring me joy. But there's a few basic things which I know are super easy. So here I can bring up my energy and I can gain joy. A wheel that turns. So, oh, I have a bit more energy. I can do something else. Create a self-care basket. And once again, it's like your list. The self-care basket can start small, be bigger, be smaller. It can just evolve in any which way you want. So tame the new. It's not the first thing that you think about to try something new. But so once we've gone through the questions of what you like to eat, to drink, how can I have more joy? Well, if you try new things, you might discover new joy. When I travel, I love discovering new things. And there is a part of me that is anxious, for sure, especially now, if I go to places I've never been, if I do things I've never done, if something is new that's been old for a long time, but then I try it, I might like it, I might not. I don't have to put it on. But if I like it, more please. You can have the same experience many times and feel it in different ways. For whatever reason, you were younger, you're older, something happened, you're not in the same place. Once again, oh, you went to a cafe and had a coffee and read your book, more joy. More joy than just reading the book. Tame the new. And I'm going to say it's not easy. And it's not easy. It's not something you some people will do this no problem. Personally, I don't want to do this all day, every day. So once in a while, tame the new. One thing I love to do is share the joy. Now, when I say share joy, that doesn't mean I want to share my joy with you. I want to share the idea of joy. For example, someone will post a picture of something on social media. I will answer, this is joy. I'm happy for you. This is joy. Someone will text me something. Oh, we went to this restaurant. We ate this thing. Did you like it? Yes, that's joy. When people bring me joy, I'll tell them. And it takes people aback. People are not used to that. So I'll tell them, that lemonade you gave me was a lot of joy. Thank you very much. And the fact that you're saying it, you're reminded, they're reminded, everyone's reminded, it's in the universe, it lives.
And another thing is when you traveled recently, you were
Mm-hmm.
at the cafe and you really enjoyed the coffee, and you would send me pictures of the coffee and you would say, this is so good. It's such good coffee. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a little bit of a wish you were here, which of course you actually ended up doing. You spoke to the hotel, you got bags of the coffee, and you were able to give some to your friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's not obviously you went on this trip and it has these specific memories for you, but now I was on the trip too, just with that cup of coffee, just with that aroma. And
And
I made those coffees last as long as I could.
and you know what? There's two sides to it because you love that coffee. You made it last. Comes from my trip. And every time you tell me you've had that coffee, it brings me joy. So it's like the gift that keeps on giving. And you're talking about traveling. Another way to share joy, I've been to Portugal, we know that. You went to Portugal after me. You know what, Mireille? It's more than just I saw this and I saw this and I saw that. It's I saw this and I thought this. I saw this and I felt this. I ate this. Oh my God, so much joy. Oh my God, so look for it. Oh my God, so much joy. That is a way of, and it doesn't happen every day. Not everyone travels to the same places. I'm just saying it's a way of sharing joy.